The golden crystal chandelier above Emma's dining table glowed so brightly it felt like the whole room was trying to show off. The long oak table had been stretched to its fullest length, and all 23 seats were filled with family members chatting, laughing, and clinking glasses. I sat at the farthest end, the seat people usually gave to the guest who didn't matter. I kept my hands folded neatly in my lap, trying not to let the sting of it bother me. "Mom, can you pass the rolls?" Emma asked, not even glancing my way as she spoke. I reached toward the basket quietly, the soft cotton of my dress feeling almost out of place among the shimmering silks, sequins, and expensive suits all around the table. At the head of the table sat my son-in-law Marcus, acting as if he were the ruler of some grand kingdom, his polished Rolex glittering each time he moved the carving knife across the turkey. "So, Margaret," Marcus boomed, loud enough that even those whispering at the other end went silent. "Are you still doing that tiny, what do you call it again, consulting thing?" His tone dripped with mockery, as if every word were meant to poke a bruise. The whole table paused. Conversation stopped mid-sentence. Forks hung in the air. Everyone turned their attention toward me, waiting. "I keep myself busy," I replied calmly, spreading butter across my roll. Marcus laughed, that same arrogant laugh he'd perfected over the last 5 years, the kind that made the hairs on the back of my neck stand. "Busy?" he repeated, as if the word itself was a joke. "Come on, Margaret. You're 72. When are you finally going to get a real job?" He raised his eyebrows dramatically. "Oh, wait," he added with a fake gasp. "Maybe it's too late for that." Snickers flowed around the table. David chuckled. Lisa smirked behind the rim of her wine glass. Even Emma, my sweet Emma, the baby I raised and loved with everything I had, didn't defend me. "Marcus does have a point, Mom," she murmured. "We just worry about you. That little office you rent, those clients you talk about but never really explain. We want you to be realistic." Realistic. The word landed like a stone. Lisa chimed in next, her tone gentle but judgmental. "We aren't trying to be unkind." "Mom, but you live in that tiny apartment, you drive that old car. And you still pretend you run some kind of business empire." "I never said empire," I replied evenly. Wiping my fingers on my napkin, Marcus leaned back smugly, puffing his chest. "Let's be honest here. You're embarrassing us. My coworkers ask what you do, and what am I supposed to say? That my 72-year-old mother-in-law plays pretend businesswoman in a rented shoebox of an office." "Marcus," I started gently, but he cut me off with a raised hand. "No, let me finish. I built everything in this house. I pay for the lifestyle Emma enjoys. I earned every dollar through real work, not whatever it is you pretend to do." My grandson Tyler finally looked up from his phone. "Grandma, why don't you just retire?" "Dad says you barely make anything anyway." Emma muttered, "Tyler." But even her voice lacked any real defense. Marcus smirked. "Come on, Margaret. Be honest. How much did you make last year? 10,000? 15? Every eye watched me. They all believed they knew the truth. They all assumed they understood my life better than I did. I smiled gently, the same smile I'd used in boardrooms for half a century. "Marcus, can I ask you something?" He blinked, surprised by my calmness. Sure. You're the VP of Operations at Titanium Industries, yes?" He straightened knowingly. "Actually, Senior VP, promoted last month." "Congratulations," I said warmly. "And the company is doing well?" "Incredibly well," he boasted. "We just secured a huge contract." "Why?" "Oh, I'm just curious about my hard-working son-in-law." I dabbed my lips with my napkin. "David, you're at Morrison and Associates now?" "Junior partner," he said proudly. "And Lisa, you've been marketing director at Prestige Cosmetics for 3 years?" Lisa nodded slowly, unsure what I was getting at. "Wonderful," I said cheerfully. "It seems everyone at this table has had great success." I set down my fork, folded my hands, and gave Marcus the same patient look I'd given arrogant executives for decades. "You asked me when I'll get a real job," I said softly. "Let me think about that." Slowly, deliberately. I pulled out my phone, The same new model Marcus mocked me for buying last month, saying it was pointless for someone my age. Well, I said, unlocking it with a swipe. I suppose I'll get a real job. I turned the screen toward him. Right after I fire you from yours. The room went still. Confusion flickered across Marcus' face. Then disbelief. Then fear. What are you talking about?
He demanded. This, I said simply.
I opened an email from my chief operations officer. Here's a recommendation list for executive terminations. Your third. Marcus stared at the screen, jaw falling open. No, that's impossible. You don't. He looked around, desperate for someone to take his side. This is ridiculous. She's confused, he sputtered. Emma, your mother doesn't know what she's saying. I'm not confused, Marcus, I replied gently, almost kindly. I am Ansar Chun, Margaret Rose Chun. Perhaps you've heard the name. David's color drained from his face. Mom, Mr. Chun is the founder and CEO of Chun Global Industries. That's right, I said softly. Titanium Industries is one of my companies. I bought it 12 years ago. Silence swallowed the room whole. You're lying, Marcus whispered. Mr. Chun he's a man. Everyone says he's a man. I smiled. I never corrected that assumption. It was convenient. People underestimate women, especially older women. Emma's wine glass rattled as her hand trembled. Mom, is this real?
Tyler, I said gently. Search Ansar Chun.
The boy typed quickly. His eyes widened. Grandma, it says you're worth $3.7 billion. 3.9 this morning, I corrected. It's been a good quarter. Tom nearly choked. Wait Morrison and Associates. Our new majority shareholder last year. That was me, I confirmed. You're doing excellent work there, David. I read your briefs. David looked like he might fall out of his chair. Marcus had gone red, purple, then pale. This is insane. This is some kind of joke. You're trying to scare me. I tapped my phone. Siri, call Robert. The dial tone echoed through the silent dining room. Margaret. A warm voice answered. Happy Thanksgiving. What a surprise. Happy Thanksgiving, Robert, I said calmly. I hate to bother you during the holiday. I'm at dinner with my family, and something has come up regarding Titanium Industries. Do you have a moment? Of course. Is everything all right? Could you confirm for everyone here that I am in fact Chun, founder and CEO of Chun Global Industries? The pause. Is Samiana questioning that? Should I be concerned about a security issue? Marcus's face had gone from red to gray. No security issue, just a family matter. Thank you, Robert. Enjoy your turkey. You too, Margaret. And yes, for anyone listening, Margaret Chun is absolutely our CEO and has been for 43 years. One of the finest business minds I've ever had the privilege to work with. I ended the call. Emma's eyes were filling with tears. Mom, I don't understand. Why didn't you tell us? I did tell you, I said quietly. I told you I was consulting. I told you I had clients. It told you I kept busy. You all chose to see a confused old woman playing at business instead of listening to what I actually said. But the apartment, Lissa protested, the car. You live so modestly? I live comfortably within my means. I don't need to prove my worth through possessions. I looked directly at Marcus. Unlike some people, Marcus found his voice, though it shook. You can fire me. I have a contract. I'll sue for wrongful termination. You can't, I said pleasantly. Though I'd read Section 12, Paragraph 4 of your employment agreement first. The part about grounds for immediate termination. Robert sent me the documentation this morning. Apparently, you've been using company resources for personnel instance. Insider trading is frowned to upon, Marcus. His face confirmed everything. Mom, Emma whispered. Tell me I'm not going to fire my husband. I looked at my daughter, really looked at her. She'd grown into a woman who sat silent while her husband mocked her mother, who raised children who thought dismissing their grandmother was acceptable. Emma, I'm going to tell you what my mother told me when I was your age. You can't build a marriage on disrespect. Marcus doesn't just disrespect me. He disrespects you every time he makes decisions without constung you. Every time he teaches your children that cruelty is entertainment. This is blackmail, Marcus snarled. No, this is consequence. I stood up, my napkin folded neatly beside me plate. Marcus, you have until Monday morning to submit your resignation. You'll receive 6 months severance. More generous than you deserve. I suggest use that time to think about the kind of man you want to be. And if I don't resign, then I fire you and the investigation into your trading activities becomes official. Your choice. I turned to David. You're doing excellent work at Morrison and Associates. Keep it up, and we'll talk about making you a senior partner in Thespring. David couldn't seem to form words. Lisa, Prestige Cosmetics is buying acquired by one of my beauty brands. Your job is safe. In fact, I'm recommending you for VP of Marketing for the entire division. You're talented and you've earned it. Lisa's mouth opened and closed soundlessly. Tyler, Emily, I address my grandchildren. I'm setting up education trust for both of you. Full ride to any university you choose, plus graduate school if you want it. All I ask is that you remember success isn't about looking down on others. It's about lifting them up. Emma was openly crying. Now, Mom, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I walked around the table and kissed the top of her head. I know, sweetheart, we'll talk. But right now I have another Thanksgiving dinner to get to. Where? Emma asked. My building downtown. Every year I host Thanksgiving for my employees and their families. 400 people this year. I try not to miss it, I smiled. They're the ones who helped mebled this little consulting business after all. I gathered my purse and coat. Mom, wait. David called out. We didn't go. We should have listened. Should have believed in you. Yes, I agreed. You should have. But I understand. It's easy to overlook people, especially when they didn't fit your idea of what success would look like. I pause at the door. The question now is, what are you going to do with this information? Marcus slumped in his chair, his empire of arrogance crumbling around him. As I walked to my old car, a vintage Mercedes, had restored myself because I enjoy its work. My phone buzzed. Robert again. Everything okay? He asked. Perfect, I said. Though I might need you to expedite that Morrison and Associates partners. Paperwork for David and fast-track Lisa's promotion. Family, hey guest? Family, I confirmed. They didn't know, did they? Not a clue. Hellod, Margaret, you never cease to amaze me. How did they take it? He thought about Marcus's face. And steers the shock rippling through that dining room. Let's just say, I replied, starting my car. It was the most memorable Thanksgiving we've ever had. As I drove toward my building where 400 people, who'd never underestimated me, were waiting, I smiled. Sometimes the best revenge isn't destroying someone. It's simply letting them see exactly who you have always been and watching them realize they never looked.